Hello everyone, this is Michael. I usually make really long form videos, often over an hour long, and I've had some people say to me, why don't you make shorter videos? So I said, well, why don't I make shorter videos? So that's what we're going to try today. This is probably an excerpt from one of my long form videos, usually just a single album review from one of my ranking the catalog videos that I've done for many bands. If you like it, I hope that you'll hit the like button, and if you enjoy the content that I provide on this channel, hit the subscribe button. And with that, let's check out the video. My opinions on Caress of Steel are probably out of step with many others. Caress of Steel was a massive failure, both commercially and critically. The album did not sell at all, and during the band's tour in support of the album, fans were not reacting positively. The band soon found themselves playing smaller and smaller shows, not getting offered as many good opening slots, and things were kind of falling apart, to be honest. They jokingly called the Caress of Steel tour the Down the Tubes tour because they were really worried that it was the end of their career. They were not sure that the record company would even give them the ability to record another album. Now, their manager, who was a big supporter, did convince the record company to fund a fourth studio album, but it was with the expectation that the band would play more commercially viable music with shorter songs that were designed to be played on the radio. And the manager kind of told the record company, yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do, but that's not what the band had in mind at all. They believed in themselves, and they were not going to do what others wanted them to do, no matter how many people or told them or what their reasoning for it was. The band doubled down. Their side one of their next album would be another 20-minute multi-part side-long song about a dystopian future where music was banned. And it's not an exaggeration at all to say that decision to ignore the music critics, ignore the music company, and believe in themselves enabled everything that came after for the band Rush. All of the great albums and music that they produced afterwards may never have happened had they not made that decision to make what became known as 2112, which, as you can see, I have ranked as a 94, which is a true classic from start to finish that has withstood the test of time, and 2112 is absolutely that. It is often ranked among the very best hard rock albums ever, the very best progressive rock albums ever, the best concept albums ever. It deserves all of its accolades. It has absolutely withstood the test of time, and when it was released, the band knew it immediately, that they could sense that people were responding to it much more positively than previously. Now, it didn't generate a whole lot of radio airplay. They didn't become big through radio airplay. Instead, it was old-fashioned word of mouth. And the fact that they'd been touring now for 3 or 4 years, constantly getting out in front of fans and playing their best in front of them, that's how they built their loyal following. And I can tell you, as somebody who first exposure to Rush was the album 2112, and I hadn't even heard it from anyone else. I bought it through what was known as the Columbia Record Company deal, or Columbia Recording. I don't know what. There used to be this deal where the record companies would send you a mailer in the mail, and they would send these things to everybody who had a home, I think. And they would they would send you 10 or 11 or 12, I can't remember exactly, 12 albums, and all you had to do was pay 1 penny for them. But you had to agree to buy a lot more. But a lot of kids like me took advantage of that. And there were like albums that it seemed like always showed up on those things. Albums like Aerosmith, Toys in the Attic, Fleetwood Mac, Rumors, Thin Lizzy, what is that? Jailbreak, is that what it's called? Yeah, Jailbreak, Ted Nugent, Cat Scratch Fever, and Rush 2112. So I bought 2112 simply because I'd heard friends and older brothers and things talk about it, and so I wanted to hear it as well. So I bought it without having ever heard the band, because I had to get 10 or 11 albums out of this choice here. And I think a lot of kids found that way. That was how a lot of people discovered Rush, is you'd be over at a friend's house and the album was on. Your older brother would tell you about it. That's how Rush became so big. And 2112 was absolutely the album that projected them into superstardom. Like I say, they were in really bad shape after Corrosive Steel, and while their fortunes didn't turn around 100% with 2112, in many ways it changed the direction and the trajectory, and they went from going down to now they were going up, and they would keep going up for the very near future. As you can see, we have 2112 the song, which is the 20-minute epic, and we have to look at that in more detail. It's broken up into 7 sections. Every section is brilliant. It's utterly absurd how good this song is. One of the things I really want to point out here is how everything they do is of such high quality. The music, the lyrics, and how they put it all together. And I want to specifically talk about the opening. So it's got this swirling kind of synthy sound. I don't think it is a synthesizer. I think it was a machine in the studio that they used that created that kind of swirling sound. And then it immediately transitions into that beginning. And from there, they just take off on that song first, that first song, Overture, which is, like it says, an overture. And holy cow, are they killing it on the instruments during that section. And that's one of those, it's instrumental for the most part. They have one line that they tack on the very end, the meek shall inherit the earth. But for the most part, that is an instrumental. And that's one of those instrumentals, if you play and you have people my age, anyone my age, they know that shit, and it will make them start air drumming. I mean, just incredibly good. And then you have the Temples of C-Ring. So what I really want to talk about here is Neil Peart's lyrics. Yes, the song and everything is awesome, but these are the opening lines to this song. We've taken care of everything, the words you read, the songs you sing, the pictures that give pleasure to your eyes. It's all for one and one for all. We work together. Common sons never need to wonder how or why. And I want to just talk about that little stanza right there. Those are all simple words in short, simple to understand sentences. We've taken care of everything. You don't have to do anything. We got it. The words you read, the songs you sing. Oh, wait a minute. You're taking care of everything. What I'm able to absorb. You're providing me anything that goes into my brain. So you get a very clear picture that this is a authoritarian culture where there are people up above determining what the other people can even think. They show that music has been outlawed. And they do it in, we've taken care of everything. Where'd you read songs, pictures, they give pleasure. It's all for one for common sons never need to wonder how or why. So you are not even supposed to question what it is that you're being fed. So in a very, very brief stanza, you get a clear vision of what's happening here. You have a dystopian society where music and probably movies and books are, if not outlawed, controlled tightly by the authorities, by the temples and the priests. I just cannot express how powerful that is. I compare it to Dream Theater's The Astonishing, which is 2.5 hours of music, and if you were to take all the lyrics and combine them, would make up a significant, probably 30 pages of typed, written lyrics. And they never give a reason for why music is banned the music doesn't exist in that album. I think the best they give you is that people just don't seem to have the time anymore. So Dream Theater takes 2.5 hours and can never express why the music has been banned. Neil Peart writes 6 sentences and tells it in very simple, clear, easy to understand words. That is super powerful, and he employs that throughout this album. You have the song 2112. all these great transitions. You got Geddy Lee singing the part of multiple characters, and you don't have to be told who the characters are. You can tell in one case he's the individual who has discovered a guitar, which we experience in Discovery. He brings the guitar to the priest because he's so excited about it, wants to share it with him and wants to share it with the others. And then he plays the role of the priest who basically shuts him down, says it's nothing new. We've seen it all before. This is what killed the elder man. And so our protagonist, and that's the conflict here in the song, is you have individual versus the state, individual versus the collective. And after being shut down by the priest, our protagonist is demoralized. He has a dream. He sees what a world could be like, where people like him, an artist, are free to pursue their ideas. And when he wakes from the dream, he's saddened that commits suicide. At least that's the way I read it. And then you have the grand finale, which is another instrumental. Again, it's only about 2.5 minutes. But again, the band is just killing it on the instruments there. And this is a good example. They are playing their asses off. This is virtuosic music. But it's in a 2-minute instrumental that captures the end of this 20-minute epic. And you hear at the very end, attention all planets of the Solar Federation. We have assumed control. And it's left to the listener to determine who took control. Did the priest take control back? Did the meek inherit the earth as they promised at the beginning of Overture? Or is it even some outside party, some third party that's come in and taken control during the vacuum? They leave it up to the listener to decide that. Brilliance. I cannot. Just 2112 is awesome. Now, you could argue that I was 12 years old when I heard this, and it shaped my entire worldview of music and what could be done with it. And if I were 44 and heard it for the first time, it wouldn't affect me as much. No doubt, when you're 12 or 13, music is going to hit you more than when you're 50 years old. Nevertheless, a truly epic, great 20-minute song that propelled Rush to superstardom. After that, side 2 consists of 5 fairly standard songs. A lot of people don't like side 2 of 2112, and I don't understand it because I like these songs. A Passage to Bangkok is probably the most commercially successful of these, the most well-known because I don't know. And that song to me is the least compelling. I really like Twilight Zone. I like the weird vibe that they play on it. I think it captures the kind of mystery and darkness that the Twilight Zone always had. Lessons is a song that transitions from acoustic guitar to hard rock, and I like that song. It's really good. Tears is a somewhat unusual song. It's a very quiet ballad. But again, I like it. I like the lyrics a lot, and I don't think Neil Peart wrote the lyrics for Tears. I could be wrong. And then Something from Nothing is a hard rock song, but again, it's Rush playing a hard rock song the way a good hard rock song should be played. I like that song. We'll never tire of listening to that song. And so overall, when you add it up, 2112 is a 94, which makes it between a true classic and perfect. It's a very, very high score. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please hit the like button or subscribe so that I can continue to provide quality content on this channel. Again, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it.